we have an awesome lineup here in regards to learning all about Multichain, and Michael is joining us from Multichain to talk all about it. It's a second AMA I've done with you, I think, and it's an absolute pleasure to speak to you again.
Oh, yes, it's the second time. And thanks, Pete, for inviting me. And it's really honored to be here. And Blueshift is definitely one of our most important partners in the space. And I believe we have to share the same vision: multiverse, multi-chain verse, multi-chain world. And then we will continue with our partnership. And I believe we're gonna have a good run in the future, definitely.
Yeah, I think so. Like the positioning that we're in at the moment, building and expanding to different chains in this bear market at the moment is going to really put us in a really good position when the next bull run and bull run cycle happens, because everything will be connected and a whole interoperability scene will be set for our protocols. So I'm really excited to be in this space right now. But let's get into multi-chain and learn a little bit more about it, because we rely on you guys quite a bit to bring and bridge liquidity over. But for those people that don't know about multi-chain, can we get an explanation of what it is and how people can possibly use it?
Yeah, sure. For people who don't know multi-chain, we try to give a simple go-to phrase, and you can see from our company website, we describes ourselves as the ultimate router for Web3, but it's not like a really easy to remember. So I always use another sentence from my colleague Vasco. It's we are the internet of blockchains, yeah, because obviously we actually connect all the chains, and currently we have integrated 87 chains, and more chains will be onboarding soon. So yeah, we are the internet of blockchains. So this will be definitely will be the to go phrase for people who don't know multi-chain. Yeah, just imagine we connect everything. Yeah.
87 blockchains. That's incredible. That's I didn't even I barely even know 87 blockchains, let alone be able to connect to 87 different ones. So that's absolutely brilliant. It's really good to know.
Yeah, we try our best to reach every corner of the Web3 world, and whoever have share the same vision and want to join our ecosystem, we open arm welcome them in. Yeah.
Now, can we have a little bit of a history lesson about multi-chain? How long has it been around for? And I believe it was called AnySwap. It says so in their Twitter profile. So can we get a bit of a history lesson about the protocol?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, it's a quite interesting story for multi-chain, for AnySwap to become a multi-chain. Uh, uh, Back then, we were a DEX. Yeah, AnySwap is a DEX. Right at the time, like when Uniswap and SushiSwap were getting all the attractions, that's we call like everybody remember the DeFi summer. So everyone benefits from there. Everything's booming, and during that time, uh, all the activities happened on Ethereum, and all the TVL was also on Ethereum. So quickly, team realized what about the other chains like BSC and Phantom and Avalanche? So we thought there was an opportunity there if we could create a DEX that would allow you to bridge sets between the chains. So we thought this DEX would grab more attention, but unfortunately, it didn't. Uh, because we were not like you guys, Blueshift provides the solution for impermanent loss, and the portfolio solution is really great. So, however, we during the process we learned a lot about like cross chain. We saw the potential business opportunities for providing cross chain bridging service to people. So our founder decided to build a cross chain bridge with MPC technology, and we picked multi-chain as our new name because once you heard the name multi-chain, you instantly know like what's going on. You can grab the idea already. So that's the story of multi-chain. And also, we strongly believe the future it's a multi-chain world. Because since I joined the multi-chain at the beginning, and all my colleagues also, we do believe the future is a completely cross-chain. The definition of this completely cross-chain, I mean, it's going to be like no one is isolated. You can't just survive by yourself like a single island. It doesn't matter like what type of chains you are. You will need to have this interoperability with other chains, yeah, to allow users to explore different places, and then to create competitions, and then the people can enjoy the cool stuff. So with this strong belief, and with the MPC technology, we successfully transit from AnySwap to multi-chain. And for me, I think I believe that like a Blueshift team has the same idea about the future multi-chain world. That's why you're aiming to expand your cross-chain ecosystem as well. And also, congrats on your latest expansion to Kava chain. This is really awesome. Yeah.
Yes, one chain at a time, and I really do believe the future is interoperable and cross chain is inevitable. It's going to happen. The best, I believe, user experience for any protocol, any DApp that's building on Cardano, on Ethereum, wherever it is that the user doesn't know what chain they're on. They don't know what the technology in the background is. Like when you go to a website, you don't care what tech stack that website's built in. You don't care what CMS it's built in. You don't know what hosting environment's on. It just works and it does what you want it to do. If it's Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, you can post pictures, whatever it is. But in this crypto space at the moment, we're still very focused on the tech and everything else. But eventually, 10 years time, whatever it is, we'll see that interoperable space, and we won't know what we're using, the technology behind it. We just know it's crypto and know it's blockchain. So yes, I totally agree with that future, and it will come eventually. Eventually.
Yeah. Same. The same opinions. Like we don't believe there are gonna be like just one super blockchains. It must be Cardano, Ethereum, BSC, Avalanche, Polygon. Each chains have their unique features, and then they will allow like users to explore, to experience different things there. That's why I believe this kind of a multi-chain world will attract more attention, will attract more people onboarding the Web3 world. Just like you mentioned, people really don't care the technology, but what they care is like different cool projects, and then what kind of solutions or the benefits they can bring to them. And so yeah, just like you mentioned, we definitely have the same idea, like multi-chain world there.
Now, you guys have kicked a lot of really big goals recently. And one of them is this huge TVL volume that has gone through your protocol. You've reached over 100 billion worth of TVL through the multi-chain cross-chain protocol. That is absolutely phenomenal, and hats off to you guys. Big round of applause for that. That's something very worth celebrating. But what else have you guys achieved? What are some other key metrics and goals that you guys have kicked over the last few years since you've launched?
That's why sometimes I'm always like I want to flex a bit our matrix. It's really amazing actually. Right now we are the biggest cross-chain service provider in terms of total integrated chains, TVL, and trading volumes. And just like you mentioned just now, 100 billion in trading volume, which is a milestone, and not just for multi-chain, is also for the industry. Like people really can see there's growth, and then there is a traffic. People are really using us. People are really cross-chain doing cool stuff. Yeah. So I believe this just shows the potential of cross-chain, the multi-chain world. And also, we already mentioned just now, we have already integrated 87 chains, and there's another 3 chains in talks with us. So soon we will reach 90, but I believe in this year we're gonna reach 100. There will be another milestone. And for TVL, we already like accumulates 1.5 billion. So there's a deep liquidity pool for the users, so they can less worry about like if I breach somewhere that there won't be a liquidity for them. And we already serve 800,000 users, and we built more than 3,000 bridges, and we have like 1,000, almost 1,000 different partners. Yeah, we serve them. They will keep us busy, but we are happily to serve all our partners and all our users. Yeah.
Those are crazy metrics. They're really, really big numbers. Now, I don't know if you can answer this, but I do see a couple of people from the Cardano ecosystem, and I can see in the chart here that you are connected with the Cardano blockchain. But are there any specific dexes that Multichain is connected to as well, or have partnerships with?
You mean Cardano?
In Cardano, yeah.
I think our BD team are in touch with, like they connect with a few of them, but for now I think you guys are the main one. And then for Cardano, I believe on our roadmap there will be some development there, but I'm not sure yet. I need to
Yeah,
I need to
cool.
get the information from our BD team. And I believe Cardano will be one of the main place we want to expand our network there, and that's why our BD team always focus and always follow Cardano's any single development, any exciting news from Cardano Foundation. We'll pay attention. We'll dive into and research. Yeah, definitely.
Now, multi-chain isn't just a bridge to different parts of the crypto ecosystem. It's got a lot more products to it. And I had a look over the website to try and dig in and learn a little bit more about these other products. And so some of them are quite interesting. Can we go into some of these and actually get an understanding of what they are? What else you guys offer other than just the bridges?
Yeah, sure. I will introduce our product first, and then probably I will use one or two examples. So just give people a simple idea about what's that our products, and how we're gonna use that, and how the users gonna use that, and how our business partners adopt it and then utilize it. And at the beginning, we start with the building the cross-chain bridge only, like a to B. We focus on developing simple two-way bridges, like for example, Ethereum to Phantom, Ethereum to BSC, and then we quickly realized that there were other products that people were looking for. So after that, after bridge, we built routers, and then after routers, there's a request from users. They want NFT bridge, so we start to build NFT bridge, and we believe that we were the first ones to do the NFT bridging. And then after that, we start to looking at the fundamentals, the fundamental cross-chain technologies, and we come up with a cross-chain messaging protocol, Anycall. And also, we believe we are the first one to do that as well. And Anycall will allow the dApps to interact with other smart contract on a different chains by just like calling one contract. It's a one click. You can do the cross chains and also the swap as well. And then for MBI, the full name is Multiple Blockchain Interaction Architecture. This MBI will be promoted heavily in this year because this is a full solution for us. And currently, this MBI covers three different levels. They provide like a full cross-chain interaction solutions, including the application layer, like a router bridge, interchain data message cross-chain layer, Anycall, and then we have underlying trust layer, fast MPC blockchain and ZK router. And projects can, like all the protocols can use MBI as a single solution to adapt it, and then they can either pick up the router or pick up Anycall, or they use a ZK router. They can fulfill their cross-chain needs. And okay, this is the basically MBI, what it does and what it can do. If people don't know what cross-chain bridge is, I will explain a simple way. For example, like Ethereum to BSC bridge, this bridge A to B bridge will allow users to bridge their assets directly from Ethereum to BSC. The process is user deposit their assets on Ethereum smart contract, and on the BSC side, the smart contract receives the message and means the same amount of assets and sends it to user's BSC wallet. And the MPC network verifies the transaction. It's floating in the middle like a trust layer. And so this is the bridge. And then just like I mentioned, we after the bridge we build a router because a lot of users request us. For example, they bridge from Ethereum to BSC already, and then now they want to bridge from BSC to Avalanche, but they cannot because the design of bridge is only A to B. They cannot from B to C. So we come up with this solution called router. So now for users, they can bridge from Ethereum to BSC and then from BSC to Avalanche freely. There's no obstacles between them. And yeah, so this is the bridge and router. And any call, just now I introduced it just now, is allow the project to build on top of it. So any call works by making contract calls so that all the data and messages can be transmitted arbitrarily cross-chain. So usually the projects like Curve, Hundred Finance, they use us, integrate with us any call as a backend solution, and there's a few other use cases I can share with you guys later. And I believe the more use case for any call will be released soon. And it can be like a cross-chain gaming, cross-chain DEX, cross-chain NFT marketplace. You will see more definitely. So this is the all the products we have. A bit, I know I explained in the bit like a bit messy way, but it's basically bridge, router, any call, and together with the fast MPC and ZK router is together become IMBI. Yeah.
Great. Okay, there's a lot there to take in for sure. Well, when you think multi-chain, okay, it's a bridge, but like you dive deeper, and there's all these other products in there, and a suite of tools for developers to build upon, which is absolutely amazing. And you really glazed over that NFT bridge thing, and for a lot of people, that's a really big deal. And you see in, for example, the Cardano ecosystem at the moment, and even on Milkometer, where Blueshift primarily is, being able to move NFTs from one wallet, from one chain to another is a big deal. Like, would like to see that happen. A lot of it is just IPFS, interplanetary file system reference links. So being able to mint and burn NFT tokens through the various ecosystems would be quite handy, especially when some of these projects are going cross-chain themselves. So does this mean with any call, if I was a project, an NFT project, and I wanted to go cross-chain, I could possibly use any call in the background to be able to go cross-chain and move NFT assets from one layer to another, one chain to another?
Yes, definitely. And then there are a few projects. They want to create an NFT marketplace. They want to enable users to participate the NFT marketplace from different chains. Yeah, they are explore the any call, and they try to build something like a really cool on top of it. Yeah, there were a few of them. Yeah, they try to complete this task. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see a large marketplace like OpenSea gobbling that up. I'm pretty sure they probably already had a look at the tech there to be able to open up their marketplace to all the different chains. Like I said, the whole interoperable space, once it all happens and once it expands nicely, you'll be able to just load up OpenSea. You don't care what chain it is. You can pay in any token and buy any NFT across any ecosystem. So that's absolutely amazing, and I didn't realize that any call could make that possible.
Yeah, and also there's there are a few GameFi projects also approach us, and they try to like doing something more complicated. stuff. Like for example, if you got an NFT, this NFT can carry a special unique features cross chain. For example, you are holding different skins from one chain, for example, Polygon. You want to bridge it to Arbitrum, and you can do that. So the people have this unique feature on the NFT, can bridge from Polygon to Arbitrum, and also sometimes if if I'm not mistaken, they try to build something like your NFT, your skin is purple or something mixed colors, but once you landed on Arbitrum, the color will be changed, and you're gonna have like a unique, very unique stuff on Arbitrum. So they try to fulfill this users' needs. Yeah, I know one or two projects they are trying to do that, which is really cool.
Wow. Okay. I'm assuming there's a cost to using this. Is it a cost for the users, a cost for the developer, or a little bit of both? I don't know if you can talk about that on this. It might be very specific to each use case.
Yeah, we do not charge. How to say? We do not charge like how much you bridge in between. Like how much, for example, you want to bring like a 10,000 USDC or whatever you want to use any call directly bridge to BSC and then convert to, for example, from USDT, convert to BNB or any other tokens you want. With any call, one click, you can achieve that. We do not charge by the amount, like how much you bridge. We charge like a gas fees. For example, these two you bridge to BSC and then you call another contract. So we charge a double gas fees. Yeah, like a two transactions. So we basically only charge twice. Yeah, and then the way we charge for the like projects, it depends on like how many times you are calling the contract and how complex your design is. Yeah, it doesn't relate to the amount, like how much you want to like cross chain. And people always have this idea about any call, like okay, if I bridge a big amount, you guys are gonna take a lot from me, but actually it's not that. Yeah.
Okay. So it comes down to usage. So if I GameFi project and I need to move assets back and forth between two chains relatively quickly, each time an asset moves, I'll get charged. There'll be a charge for the project.
Yeah. They charge you just now. I mentioned like how many times you call the contract, and then how complex. Like for example, there's inside got another two or three maneuvers or the swaps you're doing. So basically, the whole thing gonna be right inside. Yeah. So we charge in this way. We're not like yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just asking you out of curiosity because I'm sure there'll be projects listening to this like wanting to know how to use it and how they possibly would price in some of those cross-chain swaps or cross-chain moving of assets into their games or their protocols or projects, whatever they're building. So they'll have to factor that in for the users. But yeah, very, very interesting. I absolutely love what you guys have to offer there. And with bridges, routers, NFT bridges, AnyCall, and the MBI, it's a very big suite of products that you guys have on offer there. Now, there's also this other aspect. I was looking at the website, and it all comes down to the multi-chain token as well. And I saw this token V Multi. What's that all about, and what's the benefits behind it?
Good question. The people familiar with the multi-chain, they know the multi-tokens, but not many people knows about V Multi. Actually, V Multi is the governing scheme of our multi-DAO. Basically, anyone who stakes multi-tokens will receive V Multi NFT, and this NFT will give the holders the right to claim their share of bridging fees. So actually, we allow the holders to share the profits with us, and also V Multi NFT holders have the power to vote on the governance proposals, so that it can involve in the multi-DAO decision-making process. And the way we design is because we believe this is a truly decentralized way to run a DAO. And also the power of your NFT is determined by the amount of multi tokens you staked and the locking durations. And also the holders will get rewards in USDC, not in multi. So the holders and then also a lot of like multi-token holders are really like this idea, like, okay, I participate, I staked and logged for example 1 year, and then every snapshot I can receive USDC. That's the way at the beginning we thought a lot how to benefit the V multi holders. Yeah. And also there's no emissions for multi. And also currently you can stake VMulti on ETH, BSC, and Phantom, and then the DAO will have our multi DAO will have the final say about all the reserved multi tokens and how to be used in the future, and then where it to be located. And if you become a VMulti holder, you can join the whole process, become part of the decision maker. Yeah, so that's the VMulti's function. Yeah.
Okay, so it all comes down to the governance side of things, steering the direction of the project. It's always good to incorporate and get your actual user base involved as well. For any crypto project, it's key, really. It's the users that are really important. But I love the shared revenue aspect from the bridging fees and having it paid in USDC. That's usually the currency that people want. It's if you lock up tokens, you want to get some payout for it. USDC is perfect.
Yeah, because at the beginning we designed this. We thought about there is a debate actually, like whether we should give multi or USDC, and our founder and then the team has finally decided no, we will give V multi holders USDC. Yes, that's the way we're gonna award whoever want to join us and then share the future, share the vision and the future with us. Yeah, so this is the beginning already decided.
Yeah. And I guess if they want to restake the tokens and get more V multi, they can just use your router and perform a swap and then just lock it back into your contracts there. So it's probably pretty straightforward to do that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's really cool that you guys have thought about the whole DAO aspect of the project and putting that all in place. So multi DAO, how long has that been around? How do people get involved in it? Is there much governance going on the protocol at the moment itself?
Yeah, multi DAO came alive last year, August. And it was it was formed based on the multi-chain's our core value, because it's a community driven and then the fully transparent organization. We believe multi-DAO will create millions in revenues for each token holders, definitely the multi holders, and the multi-DAO serves as a multi-chain's reach out. It has more transparency than other DAOs. So everyone, once you become once you join the governance scheme, there's a lot of things you can involve in. You can help us do some D works to accumulate points. Once you reach a certain level, you were granted with a certain power, and it's if you join the decision making, it's a really your votes will be counted definitely. And there's a few cases already to help us to make a decision. There's already happened three or four times some big decisions, and then the DAO involved, and then finally vote, and then the whole organization follow the direction. And DAO, our multi DAO is not a protocol DAO, and our multi DAO actually is a service DAO, because just now I mentioned it's a reach out from multi-chain. So we believe multi-DAO can help us to build this massive cross-chain ecosystem, and then we call it multi-chain verse. So all this huge cross-chain ecosystem will be built on multi-DAO. Yeah.
You mentioned something interesting there. You said it's not a multi-DAO isn't a protocol DAO; it's a service DAO. Is that correct?
Yeah,
What's the difference there?
it's a service DAO, because the purpose is to attract a lot of talents, attract more multi-holders to join us, and we by this way, multi-DAO will expanding fast, and then we will try our best to grab all the talents from the Web3 world space and join us to enlarge, to give us a huge a talent pool, and also give us more options when we want to change a project. We want to discover something cool, and we can always search the opinions from to get opinions from multi-DAO, and then to get the talent to help us to build something. So it have the main purpose is a service part. Yeah, that's why we call, and then it will serve our multi-chain ecosystem, will provide a lot of support to us. So that's why we label it as a service DAO.
Gotcha. Okay, that's really interesting. All right. Now, there's always security concerns when using bridges or cross-chain protocols and whatnot. So, what's the type of security measures and mechanisms does multi-chain take to ensure that users' assets are secure?
Yeah, that's a really good questions. And then everybody knows, last year there's a couple of things. Unfortunately, things happens to the bridge. So security is always our top priority. And I will explain it from my point of view. First, I can confident to say that our DV team, they are the industry elites, I can say. Yeah, the top them. Yeah. And then our chief security manager, Mr. Chang, has published a few articles about our security measures compared with other cross-chain service providers. And yeah, I can share that links with you guys later. And also, we have a dedicated team monitoring our operations 24/7. So there's always someone on duty and then checks all the operations. And if something abnormal happens, our protection measures will be triggered and kick in. And also, our smart contracts are audited by Trailbits, Slow Mist. And last, we have set up security funds. Yeah, so we will fully compensate our users because the 10% of our bridging fees goes to this security funds. Yeah, and then you can check our dashboard. We are daily. The bridging fees daily we receive around 25,000 US dollars daily. So you can do the calculation how much we accumulate for the security funds. Yeah.
That's really cool that there's the extra security fund layer in there to compensate users if something bad happens. But of course, prevention is better than a remedy. So having all those security measures in place. And I would love to read some of those articles that your security officer there has. So please, yeah, do share those, and I'll share them out with the community as well.
Yeah, sure. I will share later. Yeah, definitely.
Now, in terms of partnerships between Blueshift and Multichain, we've run actually quite a few campaigns and whatnot with Multichain and Blueshift. So it's been good working with you guys. But the latest one that we have is with Carver. Since Blueshift has launched on the Carver blockchain as well, we've got this little liquidity campaign at the moment for anyone that wants to give the Carver blockchain a go and get some experience and look into how Blueshift works as a cross-chain portfolio DEX. So at the moment, if you provide liquidity to one of the Carver pools, it's the stablecoin pool at the moment, and you use the multi-chain bridge, you go into a draw to potentially win a share of 5,000 USD worth of Carver tokens. So it's still early days on that campaign there. So you can jump in if you haven't yet. You can check that out. I'll post a link into the chat, the Twitter space here. So if anyone wants to check that out, they can. It's pretty cool.
Like just like you mentioned, like we already run a few campaigns, and then Multichain and Blueshift will always like work together and to maximize all these marketing events to give users opportunities uh, to discover how great Blueshift it is, and also if possible, Pete, can you explain like a bit like your unique solutions for this impairment loss, the portfolio solution for this impairment loss?
Yeah, sure thing. It's because we're using a portfolio setup. It's a little bit different in how liquidity can work on the DEX. So with a regular DEX that you see like Uniswap or anything that you may be used to, when you're trading on there, you're trading with two various pairs. So your pair might be USDC and ADA, for example. And with that pair, the liquidity is quite limited. It might be only 100,000 worth of liquidity. But with the portfolio, because you're not trading with pairs, you're trading with a basket of tokens, that liquidity is actually a lot deeper. So having that portfolio set up alone gives the swap a lot more liquidity to draw upon. So what the team at Blueshift had created is something called like a virtual swap mechanism, and that would anytime a user executes a swap on their DEX, instead of just pulling from a small liquidity pool between the two token pairs, it can pull out the entire liquidity supply in that portfolio. And that is usually, like I said, a lot deeper. So that reduces slippage, reduces any fees on there, and helps reduce that impermanent loss aspect as well. So it's a beautiful mechanism that's put in place. One of the other innovations that the DEX has is with the portfolios. Some other portfolios, you have to put in all of the various tokens that make up that portfolio. So it might have 10 tokens in there. You have to put 10 tokens in. What the team have done is provided an ability to do a single-sided liquidity provisioning. And single-sided liquidity means that I only need to bring in one token to buy a share into that particular portfolio. It makes it so much easier and so much simpler in terms of a UX experience to get into and get exposure to those particular liquidity within that portfolio. So little innovations like that just make things so much easier, so much better, and reduces all those aspects such as slippage and impermanent loss in the DEX. So it's a brilliant mechanism. Absolutely love what the Blueshift team have been doing, and hence I joined them mid last year to try and drive and build up the ecosystem around Blueshift.
That's great. It's a really awesome approach, like an awesome solution for people who are just, for example, if a new user on board, if they use some other products or other DEX, they might suffer a lot if they are not really understand what the impermanent loss is. But you guys provide something like a user friendly, especially for the people who are newly on board. Yeah, and also I think if the people from multi-chain ecosystem, they will understand what you guys are doing, and that's really great. And also, Pete, can you share like the old Blueshift's latest update, and also the now already March? Any plans on the Q2, Q3, probably?
Yeah, I can share a little bit. So at the moment, we're wrapping up our cross-chain testnet. So we did do incentivized testnet, and that was mainly between the two main chains that we've been connected with, and that's Milcometer C1 and Milcometer A1, the Cardano and Algorand sidechain and rollup. So users got to experience that, and it's been good. It's been really good. We got a lot of feedback, and as we expand to different chains, that cross-chain capabilities will expand even further. So you'll be able to do direct cross-chain swaps on the DEX itself within a portfolio. So it makes it really cool. So that's coming to launch I'm hoping within about a month's time, but I'm not on the dev team, so please don't hold me to those dates. The other really cool innovation that's coming is the wrapped smart contracts that will allow any Cardano native wallet to interact with the DEX itself on Milcometer. So that means if you're really used to using a NAMI wallet in the Cardano ecosystem or Eternal, you can connect to our DEX on Milcometer and interact with the EVM smart contracts from the Cardano side of things. I haven't played around with it myself, but I'm assuming it will be slower because you have to hit a smart contract on the Cardano side and then execute a smart contract on the Ethereum EVM side on Milcometer, because there's a couple more steps. But you'll be able to do it natively and get the assets back as well. So it's a nice, unique user experience for anyone in the Cardano ecosystem, especially if you hate MetaMask or don't want to touch that particular EVM wallet. So that gives everyone like a really cool, interesting scope. Next, like I said, we are still running the Carver liquidity program as well. So if you want to provide a bit of liquidity and earn some of the rewards from that, you can. So that program is still going. Next, we're also doing the Algorand index. So we've launched the Cardano index that's made up of 4 tokens at the moment with Blueshift, Cornucopias, NMaker, and Vi Finance. So they make up the Cardano index. Now we're approaching all these projects on the Algorand side of things and seeing which projects will fit best within the Algorand index on Blueshift. So we're forming that. We're forming partnerships. We're doing a lot of marketing coming up, I think, later next week. So you'll see a lot more of that. Finally, I think the really cool thing in the Cardano ecosystem is we've launched the Cardano Index LP token. So with the Cardano index on the DEX itself, you can now take that LP token and move it over to Cardano. So you can bridge it over back to the Cardano main chain. You can stake it in one of Vi Finance's vaults and earn some extra ViFi tokens on there. So we'll start to see the actual LP token of the indexes move back and forth from Milcometer to Cardano, and we'll probably see that eventually appear within certain dexes as well. So like maybe see it in Wing Riders. Blueshift token is traded on Wing Riders as well. So it's really interesting to see that kind of mechanism and everything come into play. So there's a lot happening.
Yeah, I can see you guys are really building, and also I like the wrapped wallet part. Yeah, if people don't like MetaMask, I can use that. That's a fantastic way. Yeah, that's a great solution. Yeah, definitely. And thanks for sharing. And I think if the people from multi-chain ecosystem, they would definitely learn a lot from you guys. And like just I mentioned, all this marketing of the future, cooperations with different projects. If you need multi-chain capability support, which you can just tag us, tag Mandy, tag me, and then we will see what we can do for you guys. Yeah, no problem.
Absolutely brilliant. Now we have one person that's requested to chat. Now it's Jerbear. Let me just pull you up on stage. We have time for one comment or question, so just give me 1 second. Jerbear, you're connected. You have the stage. Feel free to comment.
Hi, how are you, Pete?
Yeah, awesome.
I'm just curious. A fan of the podcast, by the way. Pleasure to speak to you. I just would like to know, um, what are the future plans for Blueshift in regards to expanding to other chains? Like, are there any that the team has in mind? Like, are you guys going to try to eventually connect to Polkadot and Avalanche in the near future, or anything like that?
Yes, definitely. I can't say which chains because I don't think agreements are signed yet. But some that you just mentioned there, yeah.
I'd also like to know what are the, I guess, limiting factors in regards to what chains you can connect to. Is it all based on essentially what Milkomeda can do for you guys, or how exactly does that work?
No. So we're not bound or restricted by Milkometer. So the next chain that we've just launched on is Carver. So Milkometer isn't connected to Carver. Carver is a EVM-based chain. Because we're an EVM-based DEX, that gives us that capability straight away. What the team are actually doing in the background and building with in terms of the underlying infrastructure is Blues Chain. And Blues Chain is built on the Cosmos SDK, and that allows us to get a lot more interoperability to all sorts of different ecosystems. So whatever chains Cosmos SDK allows us to connect to, Blueshift will be able to connect to as well. And then with partners such as Multichain, we'll be able to bridge liquidity to any of those chains as well, because it's probably already existing. It's probably already done. So in terms of future cross-chain interoperability, if you look at Cosmos SDK and all the ecosystems that they are already connected to, that's where we're going.
That's really cool. Thank you. That pretty much answers my question. Thank you so much, Pete.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. You're going to be connected to the whole cosmos. That's awesome.
Yeah, and of course, like we're not going to just abandon Milkometer. Milkometer is very niche in what they're doing. They're connecting chains that don't have those EVM capabilities, whereas we're also looking at the ones that already have EVM capabilities and just jumping over there. So as I think Milkometer is also looking at Solana as well, so that will give an extra capability there. And of course, we'll jump over there when that happens too. But I think we have capabilities to go without Milkometer as well. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Pete.
Okay. Michael, how much time you have? Because we've got to have some more people wanting to jump up as well.
Maybe one more questions. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. One more. Let me just pull up Manny B Investing and add a speaker.
Hello. I just had a question about how the interoperability will work. Will it be like a seamless thing, or will it be a separate app on each of these chains? Like
Is that on Blueshift or?
Blueshift.
Yeah. Okay. So if you play around with the cross chains testnet, for example, when you're going from one chain to another, at the moment, because it's all EVM based, and if you're using MetaMask, you'll be able to essentially your MetaMask address is the same across any EVM chain. So that just makes things a little bit easier. But at the moment, when you do a swap from one chain to another, when you're adding, we're selecting the from token, you can choose which chain that comes from. And then when you go in the destination, you can choose which chain that destination token is going to. So it's a one interface kind of experience. So you're not having to use a different app or use a bridge and then the swap app. It's supposed to be there in your face in one interface. So if you want to go Algorand tokens from Algorand to Cardano, you just choose the chain, choose the token, and then you get the wrapped asset on the other side.
Okay. Will there be any limitations to, as you start to collect more chains? Will it be like, say, this token isn't available on this version?
Yeah, there will be limitations with that. It all comes down to liquidity as well. That's why we're a partner like a Multichain is good. They have a lot of liquidity, so it helps out with that kind of thing. So it facilitates those type of trades. But yeah, if there's like no ADA on Algorand, you won't be able to swap it because we can't release liquidity on Algorand because it doesn't exist.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. I think that's all the time we have for in this AMA. So I'd just like to thank Michael and also our guests for coming up and asking those questions as well. But Michael, thank you so much for chatting with me again and talking all about multi-chain. I learned a lot. in this conversation as well. So it's really cool to actually have and learn from you all about multi-chain. And I'd love to see and connect projects up with you guys that are going cross-chain, going up the multi-chain route. I think that AnyCall product is really cool.
Thank you, Pete. It's a pleasure to be here to talk about multi-chain. And yeah, thanks. Really great. Really pleasure to be here.
Brilliant. Now, if you came in late, all of this will be recorded and published on all of our social channels. You'll hear it on Spotify. You'll see it on YouTube. So if you want to listen back to it, please check out our socials. We'll be publishing it very soon. But again, thank you, everyone, joining in. Again, thank you, Michael, and we'll see you in the next AMA.